Hey, everyone. Welcome to our Let's Talk Optimal Health Community Time. My name is Jan Paxman. I am an independent certified Optavia coach and have been for 15 years. And I'm so honored to be here with you tonight. Happy Memorial Day. Some of you are joining live. Some of you are listening to our webinar recording, and some are joining through podcast. Welcome to everyone. And I'm excited to see all the people sharing where you're coming in from tonight. So thank you for making our Zoom tonight part of your celebration. I love Health Pros Live. These Zooms have been a favorite. Everybody loves listening to our health professionals answering questions in real time. I just want to say before we go on, thank you to all who have defended our amazing country, all who will defend her in the future, and all who are currently defending our country in any way. We honor you. Thank you so much for your service. And isn't that what we do here with Optavia as well? We create freedom through optimal health. When we do not have our freedom, we lack quality of life. And when you're in bondage to disease and to pills and bills, this is not freedom. And we want to help people be able to break free of that through making these choices to create better health for themselves. So tonight, I'm so honored to be able to welcome in two healthcare professionals. Um, Dr. Sharon Fleischer. She is a family medicine physician with over 27 years of clinical experience. She and her family live in Pennsylvania. She's dedicated her career to providing comprehensive care for people of all ages, with particular focus on preventative medicine and patient education. Sounds like Optavia is right down her alley. She has been coaching for 12 years. She started as a client and a coach. And this month in May is her health anniversary. So congratulations, Sharon. And she has a passion for empowering people to take proactive steps toward optimal health. She's married to Peter. She's a mom to 3 young adults and 2 dogs, and enjoys running, traveling, and she loves her New York sports team. So Sharon, welcome so much. We're grateful you're here.
Thank you so much, Jan. It's really an honor and a privilege. And I also want to recognize everybody that is um, in honor of Memorial Day today, those who have served, are serving, and their families.
Yeah, wonderful. Awesome. And also, I'm excited to bring on Dr. Joe Pecoraro. And he and his wife, Rhonda, have been coaching with Optavia for 20 years in a few weeks. 20 years. Now, I started coaching 15 years ago, and I remember he was well established when I got there. He is one of the OGs with the doctors and nurses calls that we used to do back in the day. I'm a registered nurse, and I was privileged to work with Dr. Joe back in the day. And he's just amazing. He and Rhonda are both part of a beautiful humanitarian effort called Hearts Fire. Dr. Joe presently serves as working CEO, president, and chairman of the board, as well as being an active participant and team leader on yearly mission trips to developing nations. And he has been all over this world. He just named off like 20 countries, and he speaks several languages. He has done so much good. He has just such this deep ability to love people and understand them. And he loves serving people with their health, along with serving them with additional needs in the world. And we are so grateful to have him here tonight. He and Rhonda also are the parents of 2 kids and have one darling little granddaughter. So we are so grateful he's here tonight. Welcome, Dr. Joe.
Thanks, Jan. It really is an honor to be back here. I remember those old days when we'd have the doctor's call on Wednesday nights, and people would call in, and the technology has really taken us to a whole nother level, just as Optavia really has grown. I mean, we've been through so many transitions over the years, and we just continue to grow and advance. And that's one of the things that I love about this. So thanks for having me on tonight.
You bet. Thank you. So everybody, this is how it's going to roll. We had a couple of questions that we didn't get time for last month. So we're going to start with those. And then if you have a question you'd like to ask, put it in the Q&A and we'll get to as many as we can. So first of all, I'm going to ask Dr. Joe. This comes in from Dee Dee. She asks, if you have gallstones, can fat burn cause a gallbladder attack? Dr. Joe, go ahead.
Yeah, first, I think it's important that we understand what gallstones are and what a gallbladder attack is, because gallstones are caused by an imbalance between cholesterol, some of the different bile salts, and some of the other things within the gallbladder. And gallstones can be made up of cholesterol, bile salts, calcium. So there's a wide variety of different types of gallstones. Now, the function of the gallbladder is really to store bile. Bile is made in the liver, it's stored in the gallbladder and concentrated. And then whenever fat enters the small intestine, the gallbladder squeezes and pushes some bile salts out there to emulsify or break down the fats. So fat burn will not cause a gallbladder attack. But any food that has fat in it can cause a gallbladder attack for a person with gallstones, because it's almost like really a flip of the dice. When the gallbladder squeezes, if there's gallstones within it, they can be pushed out with the biles and they can get stuck in the duct. And that's what causes a gallbladder attack. So it's not fat burn. Now, what some people may have read is that rapid weight loss can cause gallstones, which to some extent is true. However, the reason that fats were introduced into the Optavia plan was specifically to maintain gallbladder health. So when Jan and I first got started many years ago, we had very little fat. And so as part of the evolution and process of growth and improvement, the healthy fats were introduced in order to prevent gallbladder attacks.
That's so true. And I failed to mention earlier, but Dr. Joe is a vascular surgeon. So he understands this information really well. How many years did you practice as a surgeon, Dr. Joe?
Oh, about 30 years. And I've taken out many, many gallbladders.
That's fantastic. I love how Optavia is on top of this. They understand that dynamic. They know we need healthy fats in our program to protect us. So that's a great question and a great answer. Thanks so much, Dr. Joe. Okay, let's switch it over to Dr. Sharon. And Sharon, there was a client last time that asked, are blood pressure medications and diabetes always going to be part of my life? Sounds like she suffered with this for a while. So do you want to take that one?
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, it's something that my patients even ask me in the office on a regular basis. Um, while I cannot play your doctor tonight, I can tell you in my experience with clients who are also my patients, because I only practice medicine with patients and not with my clients, it is absolutely possible to come off of medications when you get your weight off. There's a specific correlation to weight loss and improvement in all of our metrics, from our blood pressures, our blood sugars. I've had patients who've had to come off of their insulin because of the control that we have in our sugar stabilization that controls insulin. And so I cannot say that you will definitively not have high blood pressure and diabetes, but I can say absolutely within my realm of coaching with my patients, you're not subject to have a disease the rest of your life. It can be reversed, it can be controlled, and you'd have to continue to maintain a healthy lifestyle, which is what we promote. You can't just, go back to the old way, because then it's all going to come back. So the predisposition is there. But if you continue to live our 6 macro habits on a regular basis, absolutely, you can be disease free.
Yeah, that's powerful, powerful stuff right there.
And
Go ahead, Dr. Joe. Yeah.
I would just like to add there, now, this is for type 2 diabetes.
Correct.
For people with type 1 diabetes whose pancreas does not produce insulin, insulin is always going to be a part of your life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it will, because your body needs that support. Without it, you would die. So, and there's, yeah, but the program helps people with either type 1 or type 2 because the fuelings that we have are so beautifully designed to keep your blood sugar level and steady.
Yep.
I've found working with type 1s, they love this program because they can have a brownie or a cup of hot cocoa and they keep their insulin levels nice and level with that. Have you guys seen that as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, in fact, I've even had type 1 diabetics say to me, you may not understand this, but there are times when I don't feel like a diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
Because they have a like kind of a different feel, I think, than the type 2 diabetics.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Love that. Okay, I see a question, Sharon, that I think it's the same person that asked about the diabetes and the blood pressure issues. She's asking, can inflammation and pain cause a rise in cortisol levels? What can be done for that?
Oh, absolutely. Any kind of stressor to the body, whether it's through pain, whether it's physical pain, and even psychological pain, can increase our cortisol levels. And as we know, cortisol in little amounts is actually okay for us. It's protective, but in high amounts and that constant surge that continues because the ongoing stress is there can wreak havoc on our systems. It can promote weight gain and fluid shifting and physically just not feeling right. So as soon as we can lower cortisol levels by lowering our inflammation, by lowering our stress, we will see appropriate responses in our body to that cortisol is needed without the spikes that cause us to physically feel either ill or stressed out and rapid heartbeat and such like that. So there is a definite link and something that we can absolutely learn to control and improve with our lifestyle.
That's awesome. And I'm just going to put a plug in for the WinZooms. For any who are taking advantage of the WinZooms every day, we do it twice a day, Monday through Thursday, and once a day on Friday and Saturday mornings. But we do this WinZoom, which is geared around not only education in Dr. Anderson's Habits of Health system, but we practice breathing, centering ourselves, and affirmations, which help us to lower those cortisol levels, and practice that every day so that during the day when we feel that cortisol creeping up, we can put it in play. We can do it, work it. So we'll throw the information on the wins and when they're available for us in the chat so that you guys can hop in and enjoy that, because that really can help that also. Okay, I've got one for Dr. Joe. This is a big one. Okay, Dr. Joe, we had a Zoom user last month ask, are any of our fuelings bioengineered?
Yeah, this is another one of those questions that we need to back up a little bit on. Because first of all, we need to understand what bioengineered foods are. Second, we need to understand the extent of them in our society. And also we need to really understand, is this question asking about bioengineered food, or is it really asking about processed food? So I'm gonna take them in order. And those of you who, like me, remember learning history early on in grade school, learned about George Washington Carver and how he, generation after generation, figured out by cross-pollinating the different varieties of peanuts how to get varieties that would be strains that were more disease resistant. And really, that was a more natural type of bioengineering, but that's bioengineering. When the evolution of foods, when we breed them in a way so that they're stronger and more productive, is really bioengineering. Now, what the CRISPR technology, which is a way where we can actually cut genes and insert them into different areas, science has been able to take these genes and directly put them right into the plants so that they can be more disease resistant, so that they can be more productive, things like that. So those are bioengineered foods. And what you'll find in this country, there are so many more bioengineered foods than you can even begin to realize, because it's just part of the way our food industry works. And so, yes, some of the fuelings do have bioengineered products within them. Now, I think when we're thinking about processing, there's a wide range of processing. Most people, when they think of processed foods, they're really talking about ultra processed foods. So an ultra processed food would be something you buy in the store, like potato chip or Cheetos, or a wide variety of things that are processed in a way, they're ultra processed. The nutrition is taken out of them, and then things that are good for the taste or things that will cause you to eat more, like saltiness and sugars and things like that, are added in. So that's ultra processed. So what are processed foods? Well, if you buy a steak in the store, in the grocery department, that's been processed because that's been cut off the bone and it's been wrapped in plastic. It's a different level of processing. And so the fuelings, in a sense, are processed in a way where the opposite is happening. Nutrition is being added to them, so that what we're doing is we're able to get more nutrition with lower calories, as opposed to the remainder of the food industry, which is really trying to add calories and pull nutrition out. So bioengineered, yes. Does that mean it's bad for you? Absolutely not.
Very good answer. Wow, I learned a lot right there. I bet you guys did too. It's a fantastic answer. Thank you, Dr. Joe. Okay, we've got several. I'm looking in the Q&A here. We've got several, and we're going to just whip through them here, and hopefully we can answer as many as we can. So let's see. Dr. Sharon, can antibiotics cause weight loss or cause weight gain? That's from Stephanie.
Yeah, to my knowledge, and Dr. Joe can back me up on this possibly, I have not seen changes in weight due to antibiotics. Usually they're short term because of what we're treating. Some people who have to go on long-term antibiotics may require it to be done in an IV fashion or in the muscles, which is not your traditional patient. So I have not clinically seen any changes in weight due to antibiotics. Dr. Joe, have you?
I have not either, because like you say, antibiotics are usually for temporary infection. Yes, that's inflammation, but it's a temporary thing, and have not seen that cause, definitely not to cause weight gain,
Right.
but not really to slow it down either.
Okay, awesome. Thank you guys. Okay, here's the next one. Let's ask Dr. Joe, are there any negative effects on our bodies coming in and out of fat burn on the 5-in-1 program? This is from Dawn.
Yeah, the not really, because ideally, of course, once you get into fat burn, you're burning your fat. And I like to think of fat burn as this situation. If you were to have a gas tank with in your car that only could control a few gallons of gas. But what happens is every time somebody has a birthday, you fill a 10-gallon container of gas and you put it in the back seat. And then every time somebody has a graduation, you fill another 20-gallon container, put it in the back. What you're doing is you're adding fuel. And so you would never do that to your car, because you wouldn't want to carry around a trailer full of gasoline, which is the fuel that our cars have. And so the fat that's on our bodies is really fuel, is what it is. And it's stored fuel, much like those containers would be if you were carrying around a trailer full of gasoline. So what fat burn really is just doing is it's saying, you know what, let's fill the tank more frequently. And that's what we're doing with fat burn, is we're burning up the excess fat that's on our body. So there's really no danger in that. I think what many people fear is when they hear the word fat burn associated with ketosis, they confuse that with diabetic ketoacidosis, which is a whole nother thing. That's a dangerous situation. That's in diabetics who are out of control, has nothing to do with the very light ketosis of fat burn.
Perfect. Love that. Go ahead, Sharon.
I think I just want to add that while physiologically there's no harm, I think psychologically there is a harm when we go on and off and on and off. So if you find yourself being one of those people who I did the 5-in-1, I came off, and then I did the 5-in-1 and came off, there's ways to avoid that from happening because it's just the dieter's mentality, which puts another undue stress on us, which leads to more problems and more weight gain potentially. So physiologically, it's one thing, but emotionally, mentally, that's another, and that's something that we offer to help people avoid that trap.
Exactly. Yes. We got this book right here, and we got that book right there. And the Habits of Health system and the WinZooms, putting a plug out again for the WinZooms, teach us how to avoid that on again, off again, on again, off again. You know, the program is this. The program is the Habits of Health system.
Yeah.
And when you fully embrace the whole program, then you learn the tools and you practice those tools and you begin to become that person who is navigating this without going on again and off again. That's like you said, Sharon, a diet mentality. This is a lifestyle. We learn it, we live it, it becomes who we are. So hopefully you guys will jump in and join that because that's what will help you be free from that. Love it. Okay. Okay. TJ asks, Dr. Joe, maybe you know this. I was wondering why LifeMD with Optavia doesn't allow anyone over 63 years of age to use the GLP-1 medications through them. Do you have any idea why?
You know what? I'm not really sure, Jan. I think personally, I think it might have to do with their insurance, because people over the age of 62 are probably at higher risk of other things that might be hard to fully identify in just a phone call. So that would be my guess, but I really don't know 100% for sure.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I don't know either. So Sharon, you don't have anything else to add?
I know that in the general practice that I'm in, 65 and older is a lot harder to get coverage. They have comorbid diseases that too many drug interactions, and insurance doesn't often pay for it.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Sharon, Wendy asks, I have a very high metabolism and I have to eat often. I'm thinking about joining Optavia, but I'm not sure if I have enough food to keep up with my metabolism.
Ooh, I love that question, actually. So the most beautiful part about Optavia's programs is there's at least 7 of them, right? You could be 5-in-1, you could be 3-in-3, and anything in between. You can do our active line, which gives you essential amino acids, which have been a game changer in my personal life, and our whey protein powder. So somebody who has a fast metabolism means you may or may not have a weight issue. Maybe you need to gain, maybe you need to maintain, but have more constant nutrition throughout your body, balancing of your blood sugar. And there's so many different varieties and available products. I would just connect to your coach and go over all of them. It's based on how much are you currently fueling your body now? How much water are you drinking? Are you doing anything else that might impact your metabolism in terms of your caffeine intake and things like that? And then find the right program for you. I have not met a patient in 12 years of coaching that I couldn't put on some type of program for stabilization, whole nutrition, their amino acids if they need, their balanced protein, carbs, and fats. Like we give them everything. So we can tailor it to any individual.
Love that. Yes. And, you know, just to add that, as Dr. Joe said, we're carrying fuel around, right? So anything they need that they're not taking in, their body, when it shifts, if they're in a fat burning plan, they will be able to utilize their own storage for the additional caloric and energy needs that they have, which is amazing. It just works so beautifully and makes sure that we cover all those bases so they don't feel hungry. They're basically having to remember to eat. The hunger kicks in just about a half an hour before it's time to eat again. So it's perfect. Dr. Joe, anything else for that one?
No, I think you both covered that pretty well. I mean, it's like you say, if somebody has a super high metabolism, which program are they looking for? And we can tailor it to what their need is.
Perfect. Love it. Okay, Dr. Joe, you can finish up with this one. Oh, the time always goes by so fast, but this one, there's two of them and they're kind of combined. How do you know if you should supplement protein? How do you know how much so it doesn't progress to gout? And if a client does have a gout flare-up, can they use the gout plan, or what do you recommend for a gout flare-up? That's from Elaine and Sandy and Chris.
Yeah, let's work backwards on that. Can you be on the program if you have gout? Well, yes, you can be on that gout program as long as your primary care doctor will let you. Sometimes if it's a severe flare-up, it might be a better idea just to back off a little bit until you're in a more of a steady state. But you can definitely use the gout program. We've had hundreds of people on that. Now, as far as how much protein is enough, that's a question that really varies according to the size of the person, their body makeup, their level of activity, because also their age, because some people do need more protein. Now, if you have gout and you need to cut back on the purines and pyrimidines, there are special diets that you can have. You can research that very easily and find out which foods are more gout friendly. And most of the time, you can do the 5-in-1 eating, kind of tailoring it to those specific foods. But the amount of protein a person needs really depends on so many different variables.
Awesome. I had a little breakaway here. We've got family here and he got in somehow. Sharon, do you have anything else you'd like to add?
No, I've actually had a handful of clients that have followed our gout program and they've done beautifully.
Awesome. I love that. Wonderful, guys. Well, this has been wonderful. We're already down to 1 minute left, and so we're going to go ahead and close it up. Dr. Joe, Sharon, thank you so much for being here with us and for helping answer all those questions. Go find mommy. Go find her. Run, 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 run. This is real life here at Optavia with Let's Talk. Okay. If we can just go ahead and talk about next week, we have got something coming up that is going to be so fun. Did you guys know? Oh, well, first of all, we're going to talk about the Brain and Body Reset Challenge. If you're part of that, we have the word for tonight is doctor. So that's easy to remember, right? Doctor. So you can get your points for being part of tonight with us. And we've been so richly fed by our doctors tonight. Such great information. And then next week we've got winner protein dinner. Oh, this is going to be a night to remember. Understanding how much protein we need, how to use protein. It's actually National Rotisserie Chicken Day next Monday night, if you can believe that. And we're going to have wonderful guests. You guys don't want to miss this. It's going to be a riot and so fun, and you'll learn so much. We're going to have tips about leans and greens, how to put them together, lots of fun facts about reading labels. You'll want to make sure and be a part of that. And also remember, we do have our podcast channel. So if you haven't already subscribed, go into podcasts, wherever you get podcasts, and look up Optimal Health Community, Let's Talk, and join up and subscribe. So, hey, thank you again, Dr. Joe, Dr. Sharon, and all of you for taking time tonight to be part of our Let's Talk community, and have a wonderful rest of your Memorial Day. And again, thank you to all for all the service you provide our country. We love you all. Have a great night.